All right, let's see if we can get it going here. August 27th, 2020, 8:28 a.m. Thought I'd come on and do a live. I hope I'm going live to YouTube right now. Looks like it. I was so busy in the recent times, and I just clicked on my YouTube channel this morning and I saw that it's been 4 weeks since I put up anything, and I was just like, whoa, that time flew by. So I'm coming here today to answer questions, to catch up, to share, to hang out for a little while. Should be streaming this to Twitch and Periscope as well. So going to take questions from every channel. Happy to answer your questions. Great to see you all here. I've got a huge list of questions that I'm going to answer whether there's chat or not. So if you've got questions for me related to digital marketing, go ahead and drop them in the chat. I'll try and answer them. Before I go into the Q&A though, because this video will be recorded on my channel, I do want to get out of the way just some important announcements. A lot has happened with Rich+Niche.com, the academy, over the last 8 months. You know, it's a pretty new educational company, right? I was an agency only before, but a lot has transpired and I'm very excited about it. You know, we've had very successful course launches, people getting extremely great educations. But one thing I found was simply people were having difficulty entering the final phase of mastery. You know, there's not a lot of digital marketing projects for people to work on. So I totally understand how hard it can be to accelerate your career. So ultimately, to keep the story short, you know, I've created a new group coaching program, an academy essentially. It's on my website now. And all it is more deeper lectures with me, a couple labs every week where you're going to be working on your own funnel, your own brand, your own website. And I'm going to be there giving you the guidance you need to ultimately start making remote money, online money. Everyone's going to be working towards $100 a day. We've already got about 50 people signed up. We're going to kick that off first week of September. So if you're interested in that, let me just bring up my site for a sec. You go over to richniche.com, you click on membership at the top, and you know, you're going to find some information here about this new program, which I'm very excited about. It's a very low cost program, stupidly low actually, because you know, I come from YouTube, guys. I came from the YouTube streets. I was a YouTuber before I was a teacher. I feel, you know, when you're in mid 20s, early 20s, even late 20s these days, it's really hard to have enough cash flow sometimes. So I hear you. Interactive brand building lectures with Rich UX, traffic and conversion funnel design labs. You also get the limitless deep focus sessions. You get access to my library. Look, it's not about this, guys. I don't want to talk about this. I just want to let you know it's out. I'm not here to sell, but it's such a huge accomplishment by the company that I don't want to ignore it. Also got a podcast. Here, have some free stuff. How about a podcast? Got a new podcast, you know, for the last couple weeks. You go to richandniche.com/podcast. You'll go right over to the iTunes. Also on Spotify, should be on a few others out there. What's good about the podcast right now is that basically, you know, 5, 6, 7, or 8 of my students, they interviewed me and they asked some very good questions. I think they were asking for themselves, you know, and I think I gave them a ton of value and guidance. So it's like a free audiobook over on my podcast right now, but we're going to be putting out a lot more content there. You know, even some of the YouTube content will eventually make it to the podcast. Looks like we got Zoe in the Twitch chat. Great to see you over there. Anybody over on the YouTube chat? Can I see anyone in the YouTube chat? I don't see anyone there yet, but that's okay. Anyways, let me get into some of these questions that I plan to answer. I got a lot here. I had my my assistant pull up a bunch of questions. What's up, Adam from YouTube? Good to see you there. So I'm going to rip through like a ton of questions that I haven't answered on my channel before. And so this is going to be a bit of a rapid fire session with Rich UX. Great to see you all here, by the way. I am going to be streaming more, by the way. That's a fact. It's just been so hard. I've honestly, like, time is not on my side anymore, guys. With my newborn son who's just doing so well, we're having such a great time. There's just no extra time. Content is certainly fallen off, and I'm gonna try and fix that. But what do you want me to do? Like, I've got some massive clients I've got to work for in the agency. I've got a lot of students to answer emails, help them, guide them, now coach them. Got my son, got my wife, got my father. All these people, they take a little bit of time. And so we're really on the low end. Cynthia, good to see you there. Great to see you in the YouTube. Jade Brown, what's up? All right, let's hit some of these questions. What books do you read? Oh my God, I get this question so freaking often, and I don't know why. I don't know why people want to know what books I'm reading. I guess they think that's where I got all my secrets. Xiomara Alvarez and many others of you who've asked me what books I read. Listen, you can't learn digital marketing from books. And the reason is because marketing is a highly visual medium. And you're not going to get that experience in a book. Okay? The books stop when it comes to copywriting. That's it. They can teach you a little bit about copy because it is text, right? You can read copy in a book. It's very hard to learn how to make a campaign. And I guess the next book to come out should be like a big flip book of great Facebook ads. I should make a coffee table book with like little Facebook ads in the middle. That would be hilarious. But that's just why you don't read about marketing, What's my favorite part about digital marketing? Live question coming in hot. You know what it is? It's the never-ending problem-solving journey. That's all it is. And that's what's beautiful about this industry. We get to solve a new problem almost every single day. And I think sometimes we're solving an artistic problem. Sometimes we're solving a statistical or science problem. What a wonderful life to not only have problems provided to you on a regular basis, but that you truly can solve them with just a little trial and error. And I think that quickly transitions into I solve micro problems day to day, and I solve macro problems for my clients or for my business, and that's exciting. So no books I'm reading about marketing. I'd much rather you read books. If you had to read books, then go into personal development, go into philosophy, go into self-help, get your ego in check, get your personal relationship communications in check. Those are two areas that people often aren't quite aware of earlier on in their life path. Excellent content. I just started an online dropshipping business. Would you be able to help, and how much would you cost? I probably can't help. And I don't know what you really mean. It's, what do you mean? Can I help you, give you a strategy, or can I help you run the business? So a very hard question to answer. Not going to say much about that. Jade Brown, how do you raise prices without losing clients? By replacing the clients you're pitching to with more wealthy clients. And how do you raise prices with existing clients? You really don't. In fact, you should reduce the prices because of loyalty. So if you got a problem with pricing, you just need to charge higher and seek higher clients. It is a bit of a pyramid. It's the higher you go, the wealthier the businesses are and the clients are and able to spend, and they want to spend. It's just so crazy. Like 3 years ago, I'm asking someone, hey, do you want like a 1 hour session with me for $250? And it's like time-based, and it's doesn't even mean anything. Like, well, what are we going to do with that hour? Well, I'm going to help you. Okay, what does that mean? And then you grow and you learn and you develop a process and you understand what it means to be a consultant and provide huge value and research and report and perform. And then, just a few years later, now I'm doing $5,000 for the exact same thing, essentially. And what I realized is that marketing is so applicable, especially digital marketing, in many different sectors and sizes. Whether you're helping the influencer start their fitness program, or you're helping, the nationwide gym and fitness chain rebrand and make Facebook ads. Like, it's going to be a lot of similar stuff. So I think people just need to take their lumps, move up step by step, and raise their price every single time they get a new client. I raise my price every time I get a new client. Why not? Why not until you start seeing no? And then it's actually good because people who say no, like maybe they weren't serious. When you only charge 800 or 1200, which I've suffered through, you might get people saying yes that you're like, oh, I wish you didn't say yes. The only thing I don't understand is, do you provide your clients with typical DM job, or do you always propose to them? I do both. Excuse me. I do advisory consulting and auditing and research and reporting as a high level, high income skill that I feel creates authority in my life and puts me in a good positioning with my clients. Then they only assume I would be good at everything else in the job, and I am, relatively. So I do both. And that's why I've created the term full stack marketer and digital marketing consultant. Those are two different jobs. And I've used a combination of both of them. And I think most people starting out should. And I think with 2 to 3 years of that experience, you will know the answer to where you want to go afterwards, whether it's clients, whether it's your own brand, whether it's going back to a job for something, that's where you don't have to think, but you're just given the work, you'll know. Can I do another video about books? This is the one. Have you considered? No, don't know what you're talking about. Could you share how you operate through case studies? Yes, I could, but I typically use my case studies with my clients, and I think they're valuable. I think how you position your case study is very valuable. And it's very risky to show your case studies for a variety of reasons. I'm not going to elaborate or detail them all. And it's really only information for future clients, not for the world. So I don't know about that. I think I could see it both ways. I think what would be nice is if Rich+Niche took on some pro bono free clients and did the whole process online so everyone can learn. Put some hell yeahs in the chat if you think that's a good idea. Taking on some pro bono clients. Hey, we're looking for a client to give away $30,000 in marketing services. Is that you? Put your name below and I'll pick one of you. And then I'm going to do 12 sessions on Zoom with you, and we're going to put it to YouTube, and everyone's going to learn how to build brands the Rich+Niche way. Sounds good to me. And I think that would be a better way to do it. I think the way you present digital marketing concepts to us is really helpful. I also want to become a marketer. Can you give some tips like SEO and copywriting? Unfortunately, I can't in this video. But those are certainly good things to be learning. And I'm glad you're looking after that. I think what I would say is both of those have somewhat of a trend towards what we call authenticity. And I think that means like quality content rules SEO over algorithmic tactical moves. Quality, honest, story-driven copy outperforms template, overused copy. Yeah, Zoe, I think that's a great idea. Best advice for marketers hustling through the pandemic. Got to go more online, be everything online, be digital about everything. It's the only strategy that you could say like, oh, it doesn't matter what happens. And that's what I did. As soon as the pandemic came on, I started streaming on Twitch. I gave 8 people like an immense experience, deep VIP experience, which helped me create more digital experiences, more content. Start a new niche for yourself. I always think marketers can have a secondary site where they siphon leads with a highly niche headline and like domain name. Like we help you rebrand your sanitizer company, like that niche. But that's one of the most toughest questions. But I am going to be visiting that topic in depth this Sunday with Adam Timander interview that will be on the podcast. I believe he's going to ask me about the pandemic, and I think I'll be forced to go a little bit deeper with him on that topic. Great question. What's the cliff notes on Fuck. What books are you reading? What books are you reading? And by the way, these are the questions I haven't answered on YouTube. I never answered the books question because I just don't know what to say to people. Do you have an online course for people who want to start a career in digital marketing? Yes. Could you suggest a school where I can go to? Rich+Niche.com. What is your take about digital marketing career versus e-commerce career? Well, you don't have to separate them, but digital marketing is the act of promoting a company online, no matter what they sell. E-commerce is a mode of selling something. They're not really comparables. You can do both. You would use digital marketing when you do e-commerce. And in a sense, digital marketing often has an element of e-commerce in some sense to it. E-commerce is very vague. Digital marketing is very vague. So we cannot really deeply answer this. But what I think you're really saying is, do I go into a services career or do I sell products? And I think you should do services first until you make $10,000 a month or whatever makes sense for you. I think that's a great number, though, for most people in the West. I can't speak to other countries, unfortunately. I just don't know the different currencies. And e-commerce is going to need a capital startup cost to buy your products. So it's a lot riskier, a lot more time consuming. Evan Wisha, hi, I'm fresh to the business. Thank you for high value resources. You're welcome. Take care. What would I tell my younger self starting off? That everything that good happened to you happened because you made content. And I think that, well, I was just reached out by Canva yesterday. They're going to be making me a preferred partner. So I'm going to be able to get an affiliate link through Canva. We're going to do some collaborative content. I'm going to be a case study for Yak Chat. I have dozens of people outreaching me to try to get me to do stuff. I don't want to do it, so I kind of ignore it. But the point is, it's the content that opens the gate. And I think that no matter how great of marketing you are, no matter how great of content creator you are, there's a fundamental change that there needs to be a little bit of content coming out as soon as possible to not only gain market share of the YouTube awareness, where companies are going to be looking for the top influencers and they're going to divide their budget amongst the top influencers. You want to get into that area. And if you're in a niche, it's very hard to get to the top. It's very easy to get to the top if you're in a niche. And then you also want content because of the other snowball effects that you yourself could become a prolific creator in good time. 16 people on the YouTube stream. Great to see you guys. I think I was a fool for never streaming on YouTube before. But you know, when I streamed on Twitch, I was really just testing and trying. I look at YouTube as sort of my library, my Netflix, my higher quality. So I've always been a bit apprehensive about putting live stream content out on YouTube. But I think I'm going to change that. And I think that just speaks to what I just said. You know, you have to understand, like, people want to see people in real time, and it builds such a strong bond that live content may be replacing a lot of VOD content. And then I also think there's a huge tactical strategy to hosting your videos live, even if you didn't record them live, because I believe YouTube gives extra value to live. Do you have any advice for pricing services for family and friends? Yes, you price it at zero. And that's because they're your friends and family, and their happiness of this is so much more valuable for word of mouth. They will tell everyone about you, whereas other people may or may not tell everyone. If they say, hey, I want to pay you something, just pick an hourly rate or just pick a flat rate and just be like, whatever. I honestly don't think you should charge your friends or family. That's not why you get into business. And that's not where you're going to make a lot of money. That's where you're going to hone your skills. You should be grateful that your friends and family would let you work on their projects without you having any experience. What's the difference between a social media marketing agency and being freelance? A social media marketing agency is quite specific. You are a group or a small team who is specifically producing content for social media platforms. That is more narrow than digital marketing as a whole. And what is being freelance? You are a singular person providing a service as an expert. And by being a singular person, you get more cash flow in for you, less overhead, but you have slightly less authority than an agency. But that's changing, especially if you make content like myself, where people like, I don't want an agency, I want that guy. That's what's going to happen. And then they're going to say, I don't want presidents from these ballots. I want that YouTuber as my president. Like, that's what they're going to say in 24 years. Be ready for it. You are the best. Thank you. Wow, this question on SEO and copywriting. Guys, I know these are important skills and they're not easy to teach. I mean, I am still a student. Every month, I am trying to improve my knowledge on these just as well. I agree, I'm probably ahead of some people, so I should go back and try and share it. And maybe these are some great free mini courses I can do. And I think when I make them free, it's a lot less pressure. How would you recommend finding mentors? Unfortunately, you shouldn't spend too much time finding your mentor. You should be spending time delivering free value to people you admire and see what happens. I would recommend you come to a Rich+Niche, or you go to a Gary V, somewhere in between all that, whether it's 10,000 followers or 2 million. You say, hey, Gary, hey, Rich, I made this compilation video for you of you talking about X, of you talking about kindness, of you talking about freelancing, whatever. Have it for free. And I think that that is one of the most powerful opening moves you can make today. Spending 8 to 10 hours on a great piece of content, you give it to them for free. And then you say, listen, let's just have a chat and I'll tell you how you can help me. The thing is, you really shouldn't pick your mentors. They should pick you. That's just the way it goes. Package consulting or retainer. Well, do you want to find new clients every 3 months? I don't. I'd rather take a little less and have them coming month after month. But I think each situation of what the solution is determines that. If you're going to do deliverables like social media content or content in general, why would you set a time on it? Just keep going if they're happy. If they want to cancel, cancel. If you're doing a website, though, it's kind of like build, maintain. $5,000, $300 a month, sort of like that. Great to see the YouTube comments coming in the chat. Like this stream if you're having a good time. If you want me to do more streams, give it a like. What are the characteristics of highly effective, high-end digital marketers? Well, of course, communication. High-end communication. You are Neo from the Matrix, listening to the bullets of your client and just, and it's like, I will, navigate what you say in order to, one, achieve your goals, and two, just to please you in the moment. Because I'm your service provider, I'm your guide, I'm your expert, I'm your consultant. Like, let me soothe you. Let me assure you you're on the right track. People always like to second guess their marketing. They like to give up on their marketing. They like to be changing their minds. So let's make communication one of the number ones. You're absolutely going to have needed to make great confidence strides in your life. You need to know you're the shit. You need to know you've got this. I use the mantra, I accept myself, and that allows me to feel like I've done enough. Whereas if I said, I don't accept myself, I'm not good enough, then the negative language will creep in. I accept myself. That's my mantra. What else for highly effective? I mean, organization. My goodness. If you're high end, you will take on more, and you won't overdo it. You won't burn out necessarily, but being able to fluidly come in and out of projects takes a bit of time to develop that finesse of what was I doing on this project again a week ago, and presenting yourself like, I understand. I'm ready to go. I've reread the brief. I'm organized. I'm prepared. And I'm always working on that. I think the marketing, you really want a process that you take yourself through, that you're not questioning every time around. It just, from a business point of view, that makes sense to me. And so you set your process, and then you go on the never-ending journey of building your confidence and becoming a wildly effective communicator through speaking, through conversing, through debating. Don't be afraid to debate out of the skill development. Um, I may do something for my internal community actually related to that, because I know everyone could use a little bit more development in the intensive communications. You feel a conflict arise. How do you navigate that? And I do owe a lot to my law degree dealing with negotiation and conflict. Great question. What do you think about high ticket drop shipping? Well, the full stack marketer absolutely should consider dabbling in drop shipping, because you are the god that could truly make it happen. I mean, when I think about people in drop shipping, I'm just like, how do you get your traffic? Like, you don't know anything about SEO. You don't know anything about content. You just think you can start a drop shipping site and it will work. And it doesn't, right? You need traffic. You're not going to buy your traffic for drop shipping because you'll never have a strong margin. And that's the answer right there. If you find a strong margin, go for it. Get into drop shipping. You can do it. Full stack marketer, make content, social media pages, great landing page, the best copy, scarcity, tune up the funnel, follow up with email. You got it, right? If the margin's there. If there's no margin, that's why I'm always recommending, like, why don't you create your own digital product? Because a full stack marketer can also create digital products. You can create a digital experience. People get excited over cool web pages. People get excited over videos. People get excited over courses. Like, as long as it's well and thoughtfully designed, I think that your digital experiences are good enough, and you can always find the appropriate price point. Like, we're going to virtual reality, guys, but before we get there, we're going to go through all this like online education stuff first. We're not going straight into holograms. We're going into Zoom rooms. Think about that. Going back to a question from Martin Woodhouse, great content. Quest here for freelancer who doesn't want to have a personal. Can I make it with a business brand? Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. You absolutely do not need a personal brand. But what you need is trust. And in order for you to create trust without a persona, you simply need more case studies, more proof. And I think that that's all it takes. And I think you can create that just as well. But when there's a face on it, and that face is out there, and that face is answering questions, it helps. If you can turn your business into a persona without being a person, I think that's fine. Give your business some personality. Let your business have your personality, but don't necessarily claim your face, your name. That's totally fine. Of course, that's fine. But did you realize how many popular brands actually are based on the person? Walmart, Wendy's, McDonald's. Like, I can't think of them off my top of my head, but people businesses, man, faces, like Mr. Clean, a lot of food companies using faces. I'm a little blank here to think of those, but I think, names and people and businesses are often more than you realize. That when they started, they weren't that cold corporate face. They were just a person, a man, a woman who wanted to bring good value to the world, who scaled beyond who they were as an individual. And that's what required the business version. But when you're out there as a freelancer, or you're out there, it's about trust. People don't really care what I've made. They're basing their decision on who I am and how I present myself to them and how I make them feel. And they're buying an expectation that we can do something great, but it's the trust with me and the client that's really allowing the price to go higher. I think that's the expert consultant's value enhancer. If you're a cold company, you might be like, selling content repurposing for like 600 a month, and you're a commodity, and it's just like, let's get 20 clients and try to be profitable. It's a tricky game. And I think digital marketing and the flatter hierarchy of organizations and the gig economy is calling into question all of this. And I don't know the perfect answer. And I think it's okay for me to tell you, you don't need to be personal, or you don't need to make it about yourself. But I just don't want people to think that you start out in business as this cold face and that's attractive. I'm not sure about that. I think if that's the case, you need a super sharp value prop, a super sharp benefit and transformation sort of offer that you're really confident in. What's the most important thing to demonstrate with my portfolio? A little bit of visual, a Facebook ad, a website, a video, a little bit of cause and effect. We did this and this happened. And then some highlighted numbers that make it look exciting. 200%. Reduction in lead cost by 60%. 1,000 extra leads gained per month, something like that. Keep it really simple. Look, I'll even give you guys a little peek at how I do my case studies. And I believe if you buy my course, Digital Marketing Consulting Essentials, you actually get access to this file. It's just going to take me a moment to bring them up. I'm going to look for it while I answer the next question, because I'm not even prepared to answer this. So let's go into the next question. Would you ever experience imposter syndrome? Yes, but not anymore. It was happening to me about 24 months ago. I was just coming out and I'm like, fuck, can I do this? I was starting to host Zoom calls for about 6-7 people, putting a little bit of content. It's a part of the process. It's not about like, will it or won't it happen to you? It will likely happen to you. And it's like, what you need to do in that scenario is you need to do more work, more projects to get through that and hear people say like, thank you. Yes, I liked that. Thank you. Good. Do more. How do you think digital marketing will change, if at all? Oh shit, by the way, does this screen work? No, it's not working right now. I'm trying to set the chat to come over in the bottom right, but I don't think I've set it up right. Anyways, let me go into full screen for a bit. We're going to do about another 10 minutes. Okay. How do you think digital marketing will change moving into 2021? Well, what I'm waiting for is more decentralized platforms, communities, and such. I just think that once the tools come out where we're just going to have a little bit more of a gated community. And so I think it's very important for brands to consider starting communities. And I think that a community, when fostered well, is like a great email list, but it's this social proof kind of element. So I think community-driven marketing, like, hey, let's spend $50,000 and do whatever it takes to get our Facebook community alive with over 2,000 people or whatever. I mean, I see that as a valuable investment for a lot of companies. But let's face it, most companies don't even have an Insta or a Twitter or a Facebook yet, so they can't even go into that. They still need transformation. I think the next year is all about, like, from a digital marketer, being careful that you're not too good or too expert that you miss out on the wave of sort of beginners. Try to create a service, solution, or product or lead magnet for them so you can capture a huge element of that market. Help the beginners out, help the women, help the young people, help the old people, help the moms, pick something and just be like, yeah, I'm going to help you get through this transformation. I mean, that could be useful. Tough question though. Because it's short term. I don't really know if much will change. Let's look at Tesla right now, the fastest growing company in the world. They don't market, but they create buzz and PR and they do outlandish presentations. So it's going to depend on scale at the end of the day. Great stuff, Evan. Glad you found it. What format do you present your marketing strategies to in? PDF, presentation, PowerPoint, horizontal PowerPoint, and I'll present it in a Zoom call. Just slide by slide, I'll just talk about it. And then I might give them information in a Notion board or a Miro board. There might be like additional information. But PDF, a little booklet, maybe 19, 20 pages. You know, here were your goals. Here's who we were targeting. Here's who we think. Here's what we think you should angle. Here's the channels. Here's the keywords. Here's the ad segment. Here's the CPMs. 20 pages. And it's like, hey, we think you should do this. You should go here. Your brand should go here and do this. And you will see this. That's kind of what it is. But don't forget, a lot of businesses and brands, before they get into content and paid ads, they need to really think about their funnel quality, their website quality, their copywriting, their brand aesthetic, their email experience. Those needs to be fixed up before you go spending money on other things. I mean, content, if you're making it for free, you can never go wrong. That's the great thing about it. But, what's the point of generating traffic to a weak website? I don't see it. I think that's priority numero uno. All-in-one services versus niche services for small businesses. Well, that's a great question. And the answer is the bigger you get, the more niche you must become. The smaller you are, you should probably do more all-in-one services. How to deal if someone wants a package rather than special service? Well, here's the thing. You got two choices. You can go into every discovery call with a preset package and a preset price. You can absolutely do that. I don't see anything wrong with that. And for sure, you should have a minimum price. And in fact, you should probably put that on your website. I have a minimum fee of $4,000, $20,000, $1,000, whatever it is. What's the minimum you're willing to do any work for? Because when you get a new client, there's opening file time and resources. You got to make sure just imagine you spent $5,000 with someone. Don't you think you'd expect like a nice email to follow up, and some thoughtful planning, and here's your call link, and let's get you organized, So I think that you, first of all, need to know package, yes or no. But then if no, great. You go in as a consultative advisor and say, let me hear what you want, what you need. And then I'll propose you something, and I'll propose you different options so you can choose the right level for you. We're getting into a very complex conversation. You should definitely read my book, Attract+Convert. It's on my website. It explains a lot of this. But the fact is, if you want to get paid a lot and you want to start saving time, you need to do one thing and one thing only. But the problem is you don't have enough clients in the beginning to do that. So what I recommend you do is you start off by offering multi-service, retainers, building an income you can rely on, getting to $3,000 to $5,000 a month, and then start narrowing the service and raising the price. So you started out doing websites, video editing, Facebook ads, copywriting, graphic design. Great. And there's lots of clients out there that will pay you $1,000 to $4,000 a month to do all those things for them on a regular basis. So they only have one person to contact. Great. You got one or two of those clients and they're driving you crazy now because they ask for too much, but at least you created your own income under your own rules in a sense, better than a job. So that's the escape path. Once you've achieved that, and I had achieved that a while back, then the pain becomes, man, this client is not treating me well enough. He doesn't recognize, or she doesn't recognize, that I'm better than I am. I'm growing, and they're still asking me to edit their blog posts, and that's below my pay grade. Well, that's the price you pay to be an entrepreneur, I'd say. But that's the sign you need new clients who pay more, and you use your existing work to drive that confidence in your future clients. And it will also occur that the better you become and the more experienced you become, there will be a magnet that will go along with that, and you'll attract bigger and better clients. You won't actually attract worse. You'll actually repel them. And if your marketing on your website is strong and it's appropriate, it will be clear that you no longer work for those smaller scenarios. And those people will stop calling because they'll be like, oh, wow, I won't be able to afford this guy. They'll just know. Last few questions in the chat. I will take them. Thank you, everyone. It looks like about 20 of you came in here. Like, how can I even see my live on my YouTube? I'm using Restreamio, Restream.io to restream to all the major platforms right now. I think I'm paying about $19 a month. But I'd love to bring up the live YouTube window, and I might be doing it right now. No, this is if I want to start a new stream. Like, how come I can't even easily find it? YouTube has gotten so complicated, guys. Like, YouTube, there's so much to it now, whether it's live, whether it's events, whether it's streaming, studio. So much. I think I just go to my channel and watch live. Oh, there I am. 21 watching. Great, guys. Welcome. Thanks for the likes. Can a few more people put a like on this? I mean, whether it's events, whether why are you here if you don't like this? Give it a thumbs up, yo. I think I just go to my channel and watch. Do a little promo since people are kind of asking about stuff. What does a digital marketing consultant do? Let me get to that right after. Can you tell us about your course? Well, let me go to my site for a second and just overview my courses so like people know what I'm talking about. This is my baby, okay? 67 videos, an incredible PDF workbook, an amazing foundational program. I believe one of the top early stage digital marketing courses you should take, and it can really give intermediate marketers confidence because it validates what you might be uncertain about. I give you the full process to design, build, and optimize a marketing funnel from end to end. I'm coming out with 2 more smaller courses, full stack Facebook ads, full stack content maximizer. They're just really short, sort of how to deal with this stuff for clients. It's not really like how to set up an ad. It's more like how do you deal with your client when you're doing this. I think I've got some unique ideas, and I think I've been a leader in sort of client management, so I want to keep on that. And then I have another pretty substantial course. It's a little bit lower priced, but it's an intermediate course. It's called Digital Marketing Consulting Essentials. And basically what I did is I just refined my consulting process for over so many experiences, and I just felt it was ready to give to people so that they wouldn't feel like uncertain as a consultant. I think like you may have the strategies and tactics in your mind, but you may not have any sense of like, what do I say to the client? When do I say it? How do I deliver to them? And I think there's some confusion there. And I think consulting, it used to be a very high-end thing. It still is, but I think the barrier has been lessened. So people will try it more. But for those who are just joining right now, I mean, these are over $500, these courses. They're full-on intensive courses that take time to complete. I have something new. I have my membership. It is a monthly thing, and it's similar to my courses, but they don't replace my courses, not at all. This is an action item. Imagine you went to university. Those are my courses. Now you need some sort of like apprenticeship. You need some sort of place to hone your sword, your skills. It's this. It's like a middle membership program, and basically it's an incubator for freelance marketers and brand builders. What it is interactive lectures, like I'm kind of doing now, every week on specific topics, and live labs every week where I will be overlooking your work and making sure you're taking action. I'm going to give people a complete manual, the steps you want to take to get your service website up, to optimize that, make sure that's running in the background, maybe start developing your own personal brand if you want, or just your social media for your company, maybe creating a digital product for yourself. All of that will be game. I'm excited about that. It also includes my limitless deep focus community access where you can just come study hall it up with me, work with me. It's kind of a quiet work session, but it helps you stay focused. You also get my digital marketers library, which is kind of nice. I think I can go peek over at that right now. Everything is delivered in Notion for this. So I'm giving people access to this library. It's like a course in itself. There's tons of content and information here that I store, that I need to come back all the time to. I'm adding more as we speak. I put my SOPs here. I teach you how to write a sales page, What are the orders I should go in? What is my copywriting formula, frameworks? You get that. And I'm updating that. That itself is worth the cost. So inside the collections, I've got some incredible long form content here. Freedom Formula 1, become a content creator, make money. This is like a freaking huge informational. This is like my secret sauce, okay? This is exactly how I think, do, act. It's the Rich and Niche school of thought, you know? So I'm going to be putting a lot of cool resources. My goal is to put like a mid-range university's marketing program out of business. Like, I don't believe they can do a better job than I can. I believe I can educate people faster and for cheaper. And through the combination of my courses and this membership, I believe I'll be creating some very powerful marketers. Who is this for? Anyone trying to become a digital marketer, anyone who's building their personal brand, anyone who wants to build funnels, create content, work remotely. Don't join this if you're a beginner. This is not for beginners, although you would still learn a ton. If you don't like social, if you don't like selling, stay away. Now, you can imagine this is quite a program. People will be paying $3,000 to $5,000 a semester to take anything like this. It's every week practically. There are some breaks, but it's intensive, right? You're going to be coming and seeing me 2 to 3 times a week, maybe up to 5 times a week you might be seeing me. So you'd imagine like, oh, this must be very expensive. And yes, I designed it to be worth at least $300 a month. That would be the point where you will receive immense value. Now, it's going to take some time for you to develop yourself, maybe a couple months. So I've really lowered the price intensely to only $57 a month. I think it's stupidly low. I might be very stupid doing this, but it serves my goals of building true fans. It serves my goals of making an impact. It serves my goals to put people out of business. This can be the primary educational method for people. And this is just so affordable. And this is the difference, what's happening between university and online education. University price is going up, 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 up. Online education price going down, 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 down. And more scalable. Don't need a classroom. Don't need to pay for heat. Don't need to pay for chairs. Don't need to pay for janitors. I am the janitor. You're learning from the janitor. That's what's special about digital marketing. And I think that's a great place to end this stream. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Like this stream if you had a good time. And I promise you, I'll be back for more. Don't forget, you are the Rich and Niche.